What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys so very much. Over 15, nearly 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much for all the shares, all the cares. Makes a huge difference. Now, I know that a lot of you guys, myself included, as I've talked on previous shows about being a flight attendant for the last 2 years, being displaced, figuring things out along the way. I've got a pretty awesome author with me today, the wonderful Jane Onright. Hey, Jane.
Hey, Ash, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing today?
I am awesome. And you're awesome, too.
Aww,
I love your show.
Thank you. So, Jane, what part of the country are you holding down today?
What part of the country? Well, actually, I'm Canadian. So I'm north of the border. I am on the West Coast. I'm on PST, and I'm very happy to be talking to you.
Oh, awesome. What kind of weather are you guys having today?
Well, here, I'm blessed. It's sunny and mild today. Ooh. But if you were in Ontario, if you were in the center of it all above Atlanta, if you went right straight up, you'd be probably in snow at -10. So I'm counting my blessings. I'm counting my lucky stars that we're butter side up here in British Columbia.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know about you, Jane, but I don't know anything about shoveling snow. Keep me in the South, girl. I'm good.
No snowman. Okay, I won't ask you to have a snowball fight with me then. We won't go there.
I don't know. I can find like the snowman emoji and send you. That's about as good as it's gonna get.
Okay. I like it.
All right, Jade. So, it's been just a whirlwind year. It's been an unpredictable year. 2020 has pulled everyone through the ringer in one aspect or another. Share a little bit about your journey through 2020.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know what? I know all about change. I mean, I started this journey. I didn't start out doing what I'm doing now, being an author and releasing a book. I was writing. I was actually writing my book. What a lot of people don't know is I actually finished writing my book, Butter Side Up, in June of 2020, and I published it at the end. So I was madly reinventing myself because the year before, I had gone through some traumatic and dramatic change in myself. I had 3 life-altering events, totally unexpected, happen in a 12-month period. And the first one was I suffered a head injury in 2017. I got hit in the head with a volleyball, of all things, at my son's tournament. And I lost part of my speech and hearing. I was like Dory in Finding Nemo. I couldn't talk. And I had to work with a speech pathologist to get back on track for about 8 months. And, I was just coming out of it. And the fact that I couldn't talk or hear properly wasn't good because I was a facilitator. I made my living talking to people. And I finally, I quickly realized that people weren't going to pay me to not remember their name and ask them to wear a name tag. So anyway, you'd think that would be enough. And I was out of commission for 8 months. And then my partner had his own devastating accident. He had a car accident. And totally out of the blue, he hit his head on the steering wheel. And then he came home and he fell backwards in the garage from a standing position. And he suffered his own traumatic brain injury and was in the hospital for 76 days.
Oh, goodness.
And when he woke up on day 10, he said, everybody's so nice here. I can't remember who anyone is, but you're the nicest and the prettiest.
Oh.
He couldn't remember who I was. He had no recollection. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know who he was. He couldn't remember living together. Didn't remember we were engaged. Didn't remember meeting me. How old are you? How old am I? Do we live together? Do we sleep together? He didn't even remember that. He didn't remember anything.
Oh, poor thing.
So here I was struggling with my own accident, and I had to very quickly learn how to advocate for not only myself but him. And so I spent over 76 days in the hospital with him, helping him through his journey, and then you think that would be enough. He was being released. He had to get some assisted living because he couldn't come home.
Right.
He couldn't take care of himself, but I more than I could handle.
Right.
And then my very best girlfriend of 40 years got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
And she said, "Would you come and help me?" And I said, "Absolutely." And that was the worst day of my life because I then spent the next 3 weeks. She died in 3 weeks. I then had to help her. So I spent a lot of time, struggling with a lot of trauma and drama. And in 2020, I worked on getting myself into a different place. I said, I'm tired of hard and sad. I'm not doing this. I want a super awesome life.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And here I am.
Wow.
Here I am talking to you. So I can't believe it.
That is...
It's been a long journey, but you know what? It's, out of something bad came something good, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I had to learn a lot of lessons along the way on how to do that.
Wow. That isn't it's one thing actually reading about you and looking up and getting your bio and all that good stuff, but it's another thing actually hearing you talk about it. Because when you can hear someone else's voice and have them tell their story, it's a lot more powerful than just, reading an article here and there. So I really, I thank you for sharing that. That's an incredible story.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, because
thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunities, because it's not, we've all gone through our own journeys. I'm sure you've got listeners out there that are going through a lot of trauma and drama right now with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to see the forest through the trees.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, and one of the things that kept me going is saying, you know what? I don't know why this is happening. I don't know when it's going to end, but I know that it's not always going to be this way. I had to, and accepting that change was happening. Right. So if I could give a message to anyone, I'm often asked, well, how do you remain so positive, Jane? Well, I'm talking to you very calmly now because I've gone through a process of dealing with a lot of different things in my life that were uncontrollable. And that's what COVID is. It's rapid, unplanned change. It's unplanned change on steroids. And it's very difficult to digest. Everything's upside down, not right side up. And, but acceptance, just accepting that change is happening. That doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we have to enjoy, oh my God, a pandemic came and mucked up my life. It doesn't mean we have to be happy about it, but it's just the act of accepting that it's here and things are different that puts you in a more flexible mindset, so you can, find clarity of thought and get out of the weeds, when you're trying to get yourself out of it. Because life's not a textbook.
Oh, no.
There's no textbook on this.
None.
No textbook.
None of it.
No.
So, ultimately, Jane, what do you want people to get from Butter Side Up? Well,
I think, I think a bit of hope. Hope that things can be different. And there's really two kinds of change. There's planned and unplanned change. Planned is a conscious choice or decision of, you know what, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to get my driver's license, I'm going to change my job, I'm going to get married, have kids, those kinds of things. Unplanned change is the result of an unexpected consequence or event, like a pandemic. And normally when things like a pandemic happen, obviously there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of, anxiety about what's going to happen, what could happen or what's not going to happen in the future. But what a lot of people don't realize is sometimes when a storm comes, it doesn't come to disrupt your life. It comes to clear the path. And I think you're a perfect example of this. You talked about your story with your mom, losing your mom, and being in the military and going through your tough year.
Oh, yeah.
And look what happened to you. Look what happened to you. And look what happened to me. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now if all of these three things have happened. I would have never written a book, and I would have never been able to live my best life.
Yeah.
So being mindful. A lot of people talk about mindfulness. Staying in the present, but they don't really understand why it's important. And it's really easy to stay mindful. But mindfulness is really keeps us out of depression about the past and anxiety about the future, like the woulda, coulda, shouldas. My dad used to say, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right? But the past is just a chapter. It's not the whole book. Right. And I think that's the one thing I'd like people to take away. There's hope. Your past is just a chapter. It's not the whole book. You know what? Yeah. We can all move forward, but we need some tools to do that. So hopefully people, will read the book or want to access some of the tools that I've learned, because everybody's journey is different. Yeah. I'm not an expert. I'm just an ordinary person that survives some extraordinary things. But if I can just help one person, with their journey and get through a lot of hard, tough stuff during uncertain times, that's really the goal here.
Absolutely. Jane, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Ash. You inspire me.
Aww,
you inspire me. I love you. I love your show, and I wish all your listeners well.
Yes, thank you so much. Let everyone know, Jane, the best way that they can get the book and follow you on social media.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you can get the book. We're JaneEnright.com, JaneEnrightAuthor.com. It'll give you a list of retailers. You can get an Apple iBook. You can get it on Amazon. You can get Barnes & Noble. You can get BAM Books A Million. You can order it through an independent bookseller. You can go to mySuperAwesomeLife.com for some tips and tricks about how to create your new storyline and not lose your mind during uncertain times and land butter side up, move forward even during a pandemic. And learn how to successfully navigate change so you can find your happiness and bliss no matter what the situation and move forward.
Awesome. And also, where did the name for the book come up? It is so cute and so punny. I love it. It's so punny.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you. Well, butter side up, you know what? I mean, tumbling toast. When have we, we've all dropped our toast in the morning. Yeah. And we've said, S-H-I, whatever we say, oh, shoot. If it lands butter side down, it's going to be bad. Yeah, it's full of icky stuff. I don't want anywhere near me. But if it lands butter side up, it's salvageable. It's our mindset. It's our tendency as human beings to think, if anything can go wrong, will go wrong, Murphy's Law. And so throughout my life, I have people call them Janeisms, like I just told you a couple, but my stuff with 4 letters and ending at a T happens to everyone, it's how you handle it that matters. But I used to say this to everyone. I used to say, well, I hope you land butter side up on that one, right? And I figured that, you know what, we all deserve to land butter side up in life.
Yes.
We deserve it. And we all can, but sometimes we just need a helping hand along the way. So if I'm here to help you try and land butter side up, just like I have. So I hope it does help some people out there, look at the bright side and share some humor. You also have to have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I wanted to write a book with a sense of humor and take some hard, sad stuff and break it down and make you laugh. I've had people say, make you laugh, make you cry. But at the end, I want you to be inspired to discover the best ever you after a lot of trauma and drama and unplanned change.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Jane, so much for sharing just a little bit about your story, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, and that, they can understand now, okay, I'm not by myself. Jane went through some tough times, and, my times are happening now. I hope that I land butter side up.
That's right. Butter side up. I believe in you.
Yes.
I believe in you, Ash. I believe in what you're doing, and I believe everybody can have a super awesome life. We just have to, it takes some work, but we're all in this together.
Yes,
we can do it.
Absolutely. And thank you to each and every one of you guys. Thank you for all of your love and support. The downloads, the shares, the cares, it makes a huge difference. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.